Hello, on this week's show, I have the award-nominated fantastic American comedian, sketch performer, all those things, Janine Harouni.
Such a throwaway, gentle joke. I just said, we had a baby this year. Well, we didn't have a baby. I had a baby. I'm a god. My husband is an ingredient.
Yeah.
And that
It's a very
pissed
good
off
joke.
so many men. First off, it's true.
With lovely flourish of language, beautiful. It's such a great joke.
Where were you in the comments when men were like, the disrespect towards your husband in this comedy set is unbelievable? I did a play on the West End. It was a very serious drama. I did it for almost 300 performances and thought, I hate this. I hate being serious all the time. And I thought, I think I just want to be a comedian. I just like laughing. I like making people laugh. I did a small part in the Robert Pattinson Batman movie. It was like a full pleather get up. They were filming the scene and I had to be walking. Robert Pattinson was standing there and it was making so much noise as I walked. The kind where you're like, I'm not farting. You know what I mean? It's the most unsexy thing possible.
How are things?
Good. Yeah.
What you been up to this weekend? Take me through it.
Oh boy, long weekend with no daycare. So just running around. My husband's been sick. So I've just been basically solo parenting. Do you find this, that when your partner is not well and you're looking after the baby on your own, that you hate your partner?
I hate my partner.
Yeah.
No,
I feel bad. I know he's sick, but I'm
Yeah.
just like...
It's funny. It happens so, like, my wife has a far more robust
I think that's it.
kind of body than...
I think, but it's kind of been proven that women have stronger immune systems. I think it's part and parcel with like having to go through pregnancy. Only the sort of strong survives.
Of course, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a cold this week, and we were in Manchester doing gigs. So I was there helping out as much as I could, but having to be at arm's length.
I see. Yeah.
For fear that you give.
Convenient though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tricksy, but you know, in that you just don't. It's such a terrible.
He's sick to hold the baby. I'm sorry.
It's a terrible. But I really want to hold him, but I don't want to make him ill.
When he goes to school, he's gonna get so sick all the time.
Yeah.
God, my son, I think we paid for the first year of daycare. He went like 14 hours, I'd say, probably.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
Sick, sick all the time.
Yeah.
He would just go in to get norovirus and then come home, and we'd all be sick for a week.
I tell you what's wild. You don't realise until you become a parent just how frequent foot and mouth is as a disease, because it sounds so medieval.
Yes, I know.
And the idea of like if you were 25 and you heard somebody say, "Oh, my son's got foot and mouth," you'd be like, "Oh my God."
You live on a barn?
Yeah.
Like, you'd be so confused.
Where did he get it? He got it in a town.
Yeah.
What? Was there a cow loose? No, he got it from a baby. How did a baby get hand, foot, and mouth?
And
They
you know
do.
that you also get them in your butthole. Do you know about this?
Yes.
I mean, they should put it on the tin. It should be hand, foot, mouth, and butthole disease.
Yeah, that's why you're never going to sell that cream.
No. And also nobody talks about it. I took him to the doctor. He had these warts all over his butt. I'm like, what is this? And she's like, that's hand, foot, and mouth. Nothing on his hands or feet or mouth, just the butthole.
Yeah.
And she's like, it does kind of predominantly happen in the butthole. What?
Right. But is that... What happened there? Was that like a Victorian doctor that discovered it and was like, well, we better not say.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean?
He'd been spreading syphilis around with some of the women, and he was like, let's keep the children out of this.
Just say it's to do with the ears.
Yeah.
Moving on, what is your first brilliant thing?
I'm embarrassed. I put this one first, but I'm just going to say it. We're going to start weird. My first brilliant thing is digital clocks. And this is because, and so nice to talk to you properly, I can't tell time. I can't read a regular clock.
Right.
And I also can't read a sundial. So I feel like the technology has moved on, and I think that as a people and as a society, we should all just move on with it.
So what you're saying is you're in the right era.
I am. I was born in the right time.
If you were to time travel, you'd be awful.
Oh my God. Oh, I'd be
Well,
dead.
you wouldn't be able to get there.
Yeah.
Because you'd be going, where am I? Isn't that what do you mean you can't?
I think I have this thing called, and I can't even say it, dyscalculia. Have you heard of this? It's basically numbers dyslexia.
Right.
And as a kid, my mom was she's very good at math. She was trying to teach me how to know how much change you need when you buy something at a store and how to tell time. And number one, I'm pretty dumb. I think people think I'm smart, but I just wear a jacket. And I think that's where that comes from.
Yeah, it does work though.
It does. It really does.
Do you know what time it is? And you just whack the jacket on.
Yeah.
Sorry, forgive me.
Yeah. People are like, oh God.
Yeah.
Wow. So I've noticed now as an adult that I I can't keep numbers in my head in any way.
So, in terms of doing 20 minutes at a comedy club, are you desperate for the light? Do you need the light, or do you know? Can
No,
you feel that?
because that's a different thing. Because numbers aren't time. Time is a feeling of it's a measurement of the passage of moments, right? Does that sentence make sense? I don't know, but I can feel 20 minutes. You know, when you write something out, I know, okay, about this many jokes is 20 minutes.
Right.
But to look at the symbols for time, like numbers, to do math. My son was on antibiotics last week, and the doctor said it's 7 days. And I said to my husband, okay, so that means that Friday is the last day. And he was like, no, Wednesday is the last day.
Right, yeah.
You're going to kill our son. You are in charge of nothing to do with numbers in this house. I don't pay the bills. I don't do anything to do with calculating anything. I can't do it.
Yes. But is he very practical in that sense?
Oh, he is like, sometimes I'll ask ChatGPT, I'll be trying to figure out like, okay, how much am I going to make on this tour from what I've sold so far? So I'm saying like, okay, what's 80% of this minus 20% from, and I'll be typing in ChatGPT as I ask my husband, and he answers it faster than the computer.
Right.
He is like outrageously smart. When I first met him and I brought him home to my family because my brothers are both geniuses, I just made him add and multiply big numbers in front of everybody like he was a dog that I had got from a dog show, and I wanted to impress them.
Well, that's so funny, given... So clearly that's how your brain was thinking. The way to impress my brothers is to go, look at his addition. Look at the skills he's got. And were they impressed?
They were because we played some video game where one of the rounds was you had to add and subtract really fast, and it was like a head-to-head.
Did you plan?
It's a good game.
Did you plan it, knowing that
No.
those were his skills?
No, but I do think you're attracted to someone who has things that you don't. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
It's almost like
You want to fuck your brothers? What?
I have heard they're pretty well
that's
endowed.
But I thought that's what you were going to kind of go for. Like, as in, I thought that's what you were going to say, that you're kind of sort of unwittingly, so you're clearly attracted to intelligent men. Or if you grew up around intelligent men, you go, well, that's kind of what I want.
I guess so. I guess I grew up as like a kid sister to two very smart brothers. Also, my father is so competitive. He'll bust out our SAT scores like at Christmas.
Really?
You know, because I know that I got 10 points higher, which is nothing. It's like half of a question than my middle brother. And if I say that at Christmas time, he'll be like, no, I got a higher score than you. And my dad will be like, well, I've got all the records, so let me go and take them out. And he brings out our SAT scores because we were very, very competitive growing up.
Well, if he's a genius, so are you.
I did very well on writing and English. There's 3 parts of the SAT. Math, I mean, they were like, did a dog answer these questions?
Yeah.
But weirdly, the SAT, have you ever taken any of those like American, like have you ever just tried it?
No.
Because sometimes my husband has, because he's this big nerd. But it's all multiple choice.
Right.
So if you're a good test taker, you could
Yes.
do okay on the test.
Yes.
Because you just have to guess between 4 answers, and 2 will be really extreme answers. It'll either be super high or super low, and you know that those are just wrong. So then it's just a 50-50 the whole rest of the test.
And is that the... What would that be the equivalent of over here, the SATs? Is that like that's not GCSEs?
No, because those are all subject-based, aren't they?
Yeah.
We have something like that called the ACTs in
Right.
America, and I did terrible on those
Yeah.
because I'm not great at retaining information. I'm good at... The SAT is more like an IQ test. I'm good at figuring something out if the
Yes.
information is all there in front of me.
Yeah, because a big thing in school in the UK is you're getting marks for method, which really, like, so if you get the answer wrong, but you show your workings and you're kind of on the way to being
that's
right.
good, yeah.
Very useful.
That's really good.
If you start strong, you can sort of
Because
just
what's
about
better,
get through
that
exams.
you randomly guessed the right answer, or that you actually had the methodology to
Well,
solve
this is it.
it?
But it kind of, it means you can't guess your way through it. You can't do the 50-50 because you also go, okay, well, how did you get here?
Yeah,
Just press that one.
that was me.
Yeah,
That was. I was just able to look at the test and almost think what the test taker was, what the test writer was thinking, and I'm
Yeah.
like, well, it'll be one of these two, you know?
Street knowledge.
Yeah.
So digital clocks just changed everything for you. So seeing that must just blow your mind.
Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah, 'cause seconds
But it's
as
so
well.
much more. I can tell time. I just have to look at it for so much longer than a normal person. And I guess I've memorized now the general vibes of what time. I know if it's 11:30. But 11:47, that's a different thing. Yeah. So no, I hate a regular clock. My husband has an Apple Watch, and he's set it to look like
That's
an analog
insane.
clock, and I
That's
said it's crazy.
Why
Isn't
would
it?
you make it hard for yourself? That's wild.
I think he's trying to just keep me down, because we'll be I don't wear watches, obviously, and we'll be watching some boring play, and I'll just grab his wrist to see how much time has passed, and I don't know what's.
Yeah.
I'm like,
He must be furious as well because you're going to raise his heart as well. So, if do you know what I mean? It's that thing if you grab him, you go, oh, okay. But why
you
haven't got a
understand
watch?
our dynamics so
Why
well.
haven't you got a watch?
I don't
It's
know.
wild to me.
I don't know. Well, I have my phone.
Sure, but
Do you have a watch on? Oh, you do. That's very comic of you.
Fitbit, yeah.
Yeah. What are you doing? You're measuring your sleep on that thing too?
I am. I love it.
I'm still so obviously when your adrenaline is kicked in after you just done a tour show.
Yeah.
I can't sleep. I'll go to bed at like 1, but then I'm still waking up at 6 because I'm so used to getting up with the baby.
Yeah.
So my sleep is.
And are you able to nap?
No,
It's
I'm not.
impossible.
I can't.
I don't know. Yeah, my brother.
Do you drink coffee?
Yes.
If I have any coffee, there's no way I'm napping that day.
Yeah.
No.
So, are you knackered when you do your shows if you're having that little sleep?
Yeah, but isn't that good? Isn't it good because it combats the nerves? Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm very tired, but it wakes me up, I guess, doing it, and it's so energizing.
Do you get nervous? You don't strike me as you're sort of one of those comics. I always find it very interesting when someone comes along and they have an instant composure.
It's I'm telling you, it's the outfits. My husband always said, because I'm extremely nervous.
Really?
Like I have very bad. I've gotten much more comfortable in myself, and I'm not nervous as a comic anymore. But I remember talking to Maisie Adam once, and maybe I was 3 or 4 years in, and I said, "When do you stop feeling like doing a gig, even just a 5-minute set that night, ruins your whole day?" And she was like, "That stopped for me like 8 months in," and I was like, "Oh boy." But now I feel much more calm. But when I did your show, I was. First off, I was a replacement for someone who dropped out. I think I had like 5 days notice.
Right.
Because I did stand up on.
Yeah, on the Russell Howard Hour.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Oh,
to
I was
me.
absolutely bricking it. Yeah.
You wouldn't know. So are you able to just compartmentalize it?
I know I'm nervous, but it just doesn't show.
That's so funny, isn't
Yeah.
it? But what's really great about that? I remember the first. I don't know if that was your first televised set, but it's great. You were so excellent on it, and I'd seen on your social media like loads of clips from that have kind of gone mad.
It's basically
brilliant.
the beginning of how I built
Yeah.
a social media following.
It's so great, and to think that you were nervous,
So
that you would
nervous.
never, but like all these millions of views, like, oh, it's really great. But it's so odd, isn't it, that they have no idea that 5 minutes before these millions of people will see you, you're like, I'm shit, I'm worthless, I'm crap, I don't, you know what I mean?
Oh my God. And
nuts.
that is exactly what it is in my head too. It's just all of those things. But it's also just, oh, you're hack. You know what I mean? And in a weird way, I think that is what pushes you to write more.
Yes.
Is this voice, this fear that you're going to just be terrible and it's just going to be derivative or something like that, you know? Well, now when I get nervous, I just tell myself that it's excitement. It's the feeling of excitement. And that is such a good hack if anyone out there is like a nervous whatever performer. So when I did the Netflix show, it was live, right? So when you're doing stand-up on TV, it's like sometimes a joke doesn't land, whatever it is. If it's live, there's nothing that you can do. It's filmed and put out live, and then they never change the edit. And on that show, I was the only person doing stand-up. There was only one stand-up category. So you're following a magician and a trapeze artist who's literally performing on trapeze that are on fire. And a magician is like making himself disappear and then become a dove, you know? And then you come on and you're like, does anybody want to hear me just talk in sentences for 2.5 minutes? And people are like, literally no.
That's not true.
Everyone is fully lit in the audience. There were kids
That's horrible.
everywhere.
That's horrible. Yeah.
And so I was so nervous and I had to just tell myself, oh, this is just excitement. You're just excited to get out there. And that is super helpful.
And have you noticed a sort of a spike in America from that show?
Yeah,
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So-
I don't want to jinx it, but Leanne Morgan. Do you know Leanne?
Yes,
Have you ever
yeah.
met her?
I haven't. No.
She one of the judges said that I reminded him of her. Because we both do I'm definitely a little dirtier than she is, but we do relatively clean comedy. We talk
Yes.
about our families and
Yeah, yeah.
relationships, and she saw that And I think I said in it, she's one of my heroes. I absolutely loved her book.
Yep.
And I think I'm going to be opening for her on her arena tour. Wow. Yeah.
In America?
In America, yeah.
My
I signed
gosh.
with her manager. It's been really cool.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Because you met her as well.
Yeah, I went to her taping of her she invited me to her sitcom taping. It was so surreal. It was on the WB lot. We got in a little thing, a little golf cart, and we were driving around.
Was it just you or was it the family?
Me and my husband.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, it was really
Good
cool.
for you. When is that?
And when you meet someone and you're like, oh God, I hope they don't suck. And then of course they do suck because so many people in this industry.
Do you think?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
But maybe you don't get it because you are a big person. Do you know what I mean? But when you're like a smaller comic coming up,
Yeah.
maybe you're seeing the sort of nastier side of people. But she was exactly who I hoped she would be. She was so warm, and she was like, and y'all live in London, and how old's your son? Like, she knew loads of stuff about us, and she was just so wonderful.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What is your next brilliant thing?
Crocs.
Okay.
The shoe wear.
I'm familiar.
Do you ever wear them?
No.
They're so good.
As a young man, I kind of went through this phase. I don't know if you had this, but it was when I was at university. I didn't want to look like anybody else. So I had this kind of sort of like David Bowie with a budget vibe.
Okay.
Where I kind of didn't want to have clothes that anyone else had. I wanted, just that classic. Clearly, I needed to be something and do something because I felt so normal and fucking average.
Is this what you wore on stage too?
I wore not Crocs, but they were like Wellington boots.
Yeah.
That were kind of chopped right down. So these weird, my mum used to call them your toad boots.
The smell of those things,
Awful.
I'm sure. Good Lord.
And the noise, but it was like sort of travel gimp. But it was this weird, and I don't know what, when you look back, you're like, I don't know what that was about. So I would wear cut off sort of thin wellies.
Yeah.
But they look like the prototype to Crocs. This was in 1998, so I think someone saw me.
Was it something that you did? You made? Did you cut them, or someone?
I cut them.
You cut them.
I cut wellies down.
Wow.
My thinking being, no one in the world,
and for good reason,
is wearing cut down wellies.
No.
But I often think about when I see kind of kids out wearing I saw this like Japanese boy in Manchester Airport yesterday, and he had these kind of really sort of like vibrant green Crocs on with, so I used to wear them, but there was no breathing space.
Yeah. And also, surely you were cutting your ankles on those edges. There's no way.
I looked awful, Janine. It was a ridiculous thing. But
talking about the squeakiness of the shoe.
Oh, God.
I once did, I did a small part in the Robert Pattinson Batman movie, played a sex worker, got paid less than an actual sex worker.
Okay.
And I had to wear like a full leather, it was like a full pleather get up, and it was a big leather coat and leather trousers and whatever. Yep. And they were filming the scene, and I had to be walking, and Robert Pattinson was standing there, and in between every take, because I was making so much noise as I walked, the makeup team would have to come by, and in order to stop the noise, they were taking out lube, like actual sex lube, and just lubing up my legs, and I'd just be standing there staring at Robert Pattinson like, this isn't what I imagined Robert Pattinson and lube would ever look like in my future.
So hang on. So the lube goes on the leather. It doesn't go down the leather.
No, on the outside of it, because my thighs were rubbing together.
Right.
Because I'm not a model. So I don't know why I was cast in this movie to play a sexy lady. But yes, it was just me with these lubed up thighs.
Fuck, I love that. There's something so funny about the fact somebody will have had to have gone through the budget for the Batman film. And gone, why have we spent so much on lube that day?
Yeah. They were like, I thought we were making this in a post-Me Too era.
Yeah. But it's just the idea. What a great moment.
Yeah.
How funny is that?
Oh, it wasn't
Did it
at
work
the time.
Though? So were you...
Oh, it works like a treat, yeah.
Or is it...
No, it makes nothing. No noise with the lube. But...
No. Pre-lube.
Squeak. Yeah.
Squeak.
Yeah.
So funny.
The kind where you're like, I'm not farting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the most unsexy thing possible.
That would be a very funny sketch. Well, that is... So Crocs.
Oh, yeah. So I love Crocs. I started wearing them when I was pregnant because I did the Fringe when I was about 9 to 12 months pregnant, I'd say. I haven't done them, as again, I don't know math very well. But I was super, super pregnant.
How was that?
Oh, I don't recommend doing that. Don't do that.
That must have been... Was that your first Edinburgh?
No, it was my second.
Right.
And... Yeah,
How
I
was
don't
that?
know.
Was that?
It was fine. I met a producer who was running around on a show. She was 8.5 months pregnant, working like 10-hour days on her feet.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, I'm doing the Edinburgh Fringe. You think I'll be okay?" And she just went, "You're working 1 hour a night,
Yeah.
standing basically still in a room. You'll be fine."
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, after that, I'll be fine.
Mm.
And I was. It was just kind of annoying because you can't drink. I had gestational diabetes, so I couldn't
Yeah.
eat any of the food that they have at the Fringe.
Yes.
And you're tired all the time. So it was kind of socially, it sucked. But doing the show was great. And my son was a real kicker. And the only time he didn't kick me is when I was doing my hour. And I thought, he's sleeping. This is putting this kid to bed. He does not enjoy my comedy.
But that's a self-deprecating way. Or maybe he was just riveted.
But he came out and he smiled straight away, and he's a real big laugher. I've never met a kid who just laughs at everything so much. And I think part of that was when he was 9 months, you can hear things.
He's
He
hearing
was
the
just
rhythm.
hearing between my show, which got a lot of laughs, and then seeing friends' shows, he was just hearing laughter all the time. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
it's
maybe
funny
it
though,
was
isn't
nice.
it? Where because I think that exposure to laughter is meant to be very good for babies before they're born. But who in their right mind is playing laughter to a baby, and yet unwittingly by putting them in that environment, they're hearing your laughs, other people's laughs all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, how interesting.
But yeah, I started wearing Crocs at the Fringe because it's so hilly, obviously, in Edinburgh. And I looked like, and I normally wear suits, and I bought like a maternity suit. I looked like Danny DeVito in The Penguin. You know what I mean? Like, I just looked insane. So I started wearing dresses, and I was wearing Crocs because they're just super comfy. And the first time I wore them, I went outside and I just thought, am I allowed to do this? It felt like the guilt you feel when someone brings you free food to sample. You're like, I am not going to buy this, but there's only benefit here, is what it
Yes.
felt like. They're great. I have a very wide foot. I mean, I've got a wiki feet, and it's gross.
Yeah.
It's a very specific man that would be looking at that
What
wiki
is
feet.
it? What is it about female feet and perverts?
And it's never women with male feet. I've never met a single woman who, and let's say, you might not be perverted, maybe you're just into feet. I've had men message me and ask for feet pics, and I've thought about it. They're like, we'll pay you. And I'm like, it's just my feet, whatever. I've never done it.
Yeah.
But, there's always.
But it's kind of that wild thing where you're like, I guess because it's a non-sexual thing that he doesn't feel
But why
sexual,
feet?
maybe. That's what I don't understand.
Why not hands? You never see a man who's into hands. I've never once had a message on Instagram.
That's true.
Can I say something else?
Sure.
I've never had a dick pic sent to me.
Well, let's get that changed.
Do you know how many female comic friends have been like, and isn't it insane when you go in your DMs and there's a dick pic? Nothing. What is wrong with me?
That's
Why is no
really
one
funny.
sending me?
Yeah.
And then my friend was like, oh, it's in your other folder. You have to go into your messages and then there's a hidden thing. And then I went in there. Just lovely messages from people being like, really enjoy your comedy. Keep going.
Wow.
Not a single dick.
You're saying that, yeah, that's very interesting. It's a bit like when people kind of go, oh, you must have seen so much coke and kind of drugs.
Oh, come on.
No, but it's also that thing of like in comedy clubs, I've never seen anyone do cocaine, and yet there's always this kind of not like genuinely.
But I mean, would that make you better at comedy? I don't know.
No, but it's one of these supposed kind of like it's part of the mythology of stand-up. Oh, you'll see people doing shots, and mostly it's people with notebooks.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? The idea of seeing someone backstage getting leathered, you think, well, they're gonna have a terrible gig.
Well, you hear about that a lot with the sort of like earlier casts of SNL, don't you?
Yeah.
And I wonder, like.
Well, when you hear about the kind of, I was talking to somebody. I can't forget who I was talking to, but the SNL UK regime, it's the same as the one they have in America.
Yeah,
so they've
Lauren
got
is producing it.
Yeah, so they've got them working like 16-hour days.
Yeah.
So you go, oh, cool. Well, that's why Belushi was doing coke. Like all of it, you sort of understand that the mentality of it. Honestly, they do a crazy working day.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's not built for people with kids. I don't think.
No, but that's why it's all kids
Yeah.
doing it. And you think
Well,
it's
Emma
quite
City's
exciting.
on the show
Oh,
with
right.
her husband or boyfriend, and they've just had a baby. So I don't know how they're
Oh
doing
my
that.
God.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's kind of like a show nanny.
I
Maybe?
wonder if their parents are helping.
Yeah,
You
it
must-
is.
Yeah.
So Crocs, you're in. You got different colours,
I've just got one pair of Crocs.
and you just wear them.
I wear them. They're lined. They're waterproof. They're gross. they smelt for a long time, and then I did nothing, and they just smell fine now.
It's a bit like hair. If you don't wash your hair for long enough, it starts cleaning itself.
It's a nice way of saying
Myth.
vagina. You know what I mean?
You think that's a myth?
Meth?
I don't want listeners to this podcast going away and stopping washing their hair.
Well, maybe what happens is that you become numb to it.
Right.
And
That's
so
more
you
likely.
think it stops smelling.
Nobody smells their own stank, right?
No.
Talking of stench, I was watching an appearance I did on Soccer AM where I performed quite well and I was kicking a ball against a crossbar. And I thought I'd have a look at the YouTube comments.
Oh, no.
And I think the 8th one down was I was behind him in a queue at a service station and he stinks.
Oh my God.
And it really,
And by the way, you don't.
I don't. It really rankles. I'm like, I don't think that was. But and people are like, yeah, he looks like the kind of guy that would stink. I was like, I don't think I do.
You don't.
But it was the
It's
like,
really cute, the comments that men get that you feel are hurtful compared to like the ones that women get, you know?
honestly, it's
I've
so,
gotten like, if I ever meet you in real life, you dumb bitch, I'll,
Yeah.
so violent.
Well, what blows my mind is I remember talking because Kiri Pritchard McLean worked on our show. She wrote on the TV show, and she was telling us, and it's the same as anything. I had no idea of just the level of abuse that women got when they went on like Have I Got News for You,
Yeah.
for example. Flipping out.
Yeah.
And for loads of you, that is your first experience of, like a great big show. And it should be really exciting. And yet that's the moment where the advice given to you is turn your comments off. Or prepare yourself for
I
this.
keep the comments on, feed the algorithm, you know what I mean?
But-
All
and
those
are you able to
comments
kind
just drive views, and
Yeah.
that just pays my mortgage, so that's fine.
But are you able to have a kind of a disassociated view, or that it just
I
didn't
think I've
upset
reached
you?
a point now
You've
where
reached a
I've
point.
read enough
Yeah,
that
yeah,
maybe actually something like I've met her and she smells would get to me, but I've read all of the women aren't funny and
Yeah.
your parents should have had an abortion. I've read them all. So
Yeah.
I kind of think, whatever.
Yeah.
Also, when you look at their profile, it's
It's a
inevitably
lot of cars.
every single one. No, it's men in camo gear with little daughters. Like
Yeah.
and
Oh,
a
God.
Bible quote. It's so bizarre. It's the
Yeah.
strangest thing to me. It's these like sort of right-wing American Christian men who believe that like the woman should stay at home and be the mother of their children, and that's sort of the vibe. And they have daughters, and the whole thing is strange. I don't know.
Wild.
I would say the person doing the most work would be my husband, because he probably replies to, I would say, 110% of those comments to defend me. It's the closest thing to modern day.
Through
like
your
a knight in
account?
no, on his account.
Oh, that's lovely.
And he will say like, I am Janine's husband, and then he does like a whole rant. Yeah. What was one of them was I had such a throwaway gentle joke. I just said, we had a baby this year. Well, we didn't have a baby. I had a baby. I'm
Yeah.
a god. My husband is an ingredient.
Yeah.
And that
It's a very
pissed
good
off
joke.
so many men. And it's first off, it's true. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a great joke.
It's true. You do 9 months worth of hard work, then give birth to a baby, and a man just contributes one thing one time, and that's it.
But what's interesting, that's such a thrifty, condensed down, whittled, good observation joke with lovely flourish of language, beautiful. It's such a great joke.
Where
there.
were you
But
in the comments when men were like, the disrespect towards your husband in this comedy set is unbelievable, off the charts? And my husband wrote this comment that ended up getting like 2,000 likes or something, where he just said, Janine's husband here, I am actually secure enough in myself to know that I did contribute one thing to her pregnancy, and that women do 100% of the work in pregnancy, something like that. And he was like, hope this helps. Have a great day. And
Yeah.
he was very excited that went viral.
But I think maybe, do they hear it? Do they hear the joke differently to how I just heard it? Because I heard that, and I'm the father of a son. I hear that. Okay, that's pretty funny, and it's also true, and it's done it's such a deft little flink. It isn't like, oh, you are, isn't it? But maybe that's what they hear.
I think a lot of men, when they hear female comics, and really it's just stand-ups, because you don't see, no one's commenting on SNL sketches saying women aren't funny. It's just female stand-ups.
Yes.
And I think it's that they hear their nagging mother, their nagging wife, the girlfriend who left them, the whatever it is, and I think they just project that onto you because you're expressing your thoughts or something. And I will say this, I think I have more male followers and fans than I do female ones. Like I thought this new show I've written about motherhood and being a parent and groups of guys are coming to see the show because they love comedy and they love jokes. And so I think they're in the category that you were just describing, where they're like, oh, that's a nice, neat, concise joke with a good use of imaginative language. But I think there's also a bunch of men who, no matter how funny you are as a woman, they would never find it funny. They are inherently seeing criticism in what you're saying.
I think that's a very astute point that they do. I think you are right in that they see the woman that has, in their eyes, wronged them.
Yeah.
And you know, and suddenly here she is and she's confident and she's talking
And
at
I think
me.
that's why they don't like when female comics talk about sex. And I'm pretty clean. I don't really talk about sex that much. But anytime I have even a little bit of a joke, like on your show, I did a joke about, very gentle joke where I just say the word sex. And the comments underneath that were like, every single female comedian, all they talk about is sex and their vaginas. And to me, I'm just like, is this because you're not having as much sex as you want to and you feel like we're a sort of barrier to entry? You know, it's this weird thing where they think women are both the object of their desire and the gatekeeper that's telling them that, you know, stay out.
But
so
you're so right though, because it's presumably if we go through their day-to-day activity, I would imagine a lot of these chaps, you know, are big fans of porn. So it's the idea that they're kind of watching some woman suck a cock, and you go, "Well, this is excellent," and then they hear a lady.
I don't want her writing about this.
Exactly.
I want no record of this at all.
But do you know what I mean? It's just the idea. Do it. Don't say it. Show, don't tell.
Yeah. I'd love
funny.
to make a montage of all of the male comics who talk about sex, because that's
It's
what comedy is.
yeah,
You
man.
talk about the thing that is taboo or that you're ashamed of or whatever
Yeah.
it is. I don't know.
Next brilliant thing.
So that was Crocs, right?
Yes, that was Crocs. We did. Well, this is the way this show works.
Okay, the next one is nerds.
Okay,
And I'm saying nerds, but what I'm meaning
it's your husband.
is Asperger's.
Yeah.
It's my husband. I'm meaning, and he's not diagnosed by anyone but me.
Yeah.
But I love the amount of friends of mine and loved ones who are getting an autism diagnosis is astounding.
Yeah.
People are worried about vaccines causing autism, and I think it's me.
It's you. Yeah.
I do think it's me.
Yeah.
I am so attracted
You're the
to.
queen bee.
I think so. I'm so attracted to people who have like level 1 autism. What is it? ASD, autism spectrum disorder 1, because first off, they tell the truth. Do you know what I mean? They are interested in so many fascinating things and are so good at explaining them to you. Like, do you have friends who've been diagnosed or?
I'm a stand-up comedian.
Yes,
Janine,
it's all
so-
of us. It's
Yeah,
everyone.
Yeah. Well, that's what I find funny. I do find it funny now that there's a lot of people talking about, you know, having ADHD and autism. You're like, you know,
That's just how brains work.
Read the room.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been doing this for a while. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the work of Billy Connolly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, you know, obviously we're all kind of interested and intrigued by stuff, and then like telling people about it. So.
Well, and also, comedy starts from a point of view where you're observing what's happening around you and going, "This is weird. Why is everybody doing this thing? You know, let me point out every strange thing about human nature that to me seems odd." But my husband is so interested in so many things. And by the way, I also have a theory, and this is maybe offensive, but I don't care. I have a theory that all boys are a little bit autistic. All men. I truly believe this, and I will prove it. Men are interested. I love all your little interests. It doesn't matter what type of guy you are. It's like bands, comic books, sports, cars, history. Men, there are men out there who have a favorite time of the world. I find that so crazy. My girlfriends, some of them are interested in things, but most of the stuff we talk about is like what's happening in our life and how we feel about things and present day stuff. But my husband and all of my guy friends have these like insane deep cut interests in stuff. And that's my theory, is I think men are all a little autistic.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like,
Are you thinking we have to cut this because it's offensive?
No,
Sorry,
no.
no,
I just-
not at
he
all.
was thinking what his was.
Oh no, I mean,
What is it? What's your interest?
Football, cricket.
No, I mean so many. Honestly, I was just like preach.
Wow. Did you just say preach?
Yeah, sorry.
That was
Last time I'll ever do that.
extraordinary moment. Yeah, but do you not have anything like that? You don't have like a sort of like a sport that you love, or a...
I even struggled just to make this list.
Okay, well, but there must be a TV show.
Arrested Development.
There you go.
But there's nothing that I don't retain any information. I feel like I'm a guest on this planet, and I think that's why all of my friends and loved ones, I like to hang around people who are very interested in stuff and like to explain them to me. My husband will use a new product. Like, he loves Joseph Joseph. Have you ever used any of their stuff? It's like, here's a knife that's also a can opener and you can hang on a hook. You know, it's always like 3 things in one. And he will describe to me how much he loves it. Like, he's a QVC presenter because he's so passionate about it and he finds it so fascinating, the design and all this stuff. And yes, it's a little bit annoying, but also I get to learn. I feel like I'm married to the internet. You know what I mean? I feel like he gives me these insights into all this stuff. He's a big REM fan. You into REM?
Yeah.
Big REM fan.
One of the great opening lines that when they did Live Aid, you know, when they did it again in, I think it was 2000, Michael Stipe came on with kind of blue on his eye and said, and just, it was,
My husband's listening to this, jizzing himself right now, by the way.
What's your fella called?
Andrew.
So you'll know this moment. Everyone else was being quite earnest about, we're doing this for various causes and blah, blah, blah. And he just walked on and went, we're REM and this is what we do. And then they just cranked. And it was so like, yes! But I love the arrogance.
Nerd.
And the...
So you're a nerd.
I like...
What I wish he just pissed on someone on the front row.
Yeah, exactly. But it was like, yeah, I guess... I like. I'm always intrigued by the opening lines of bands. So I remember seeing.
You mean not the song, like
not
what
the
they say
song.
right before they perform on
Yeah,
stage?
so
Well,
I've
that's the comedian in you.
Yeah, but I've seen some. Like I saw Damien Rice at Glastonbury, probably in 2002, fold an Israeli flag and a Palestinian flag together and go, "It's that easy." And I was.
Oh my God.
And I had left before he'd started
Wow.
singing. You know when you're like, you
Wow.
fucking idiot. Like, and I was really looking forward to it. You know when you kind of go, it's going to be great, this. It's going to be really, oh, you stupid.
Little did you
prick.
know, they weren't even flags. It was just 2 fitted bed sheets. And he was like,
mate.
see, it's so easy to fold these fitted bed
mate.
sheets.
But you know when you go,
That's unreal.
But you could just feel like half the crowd going, yeah, and the other half going, oh, God.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. Where did you meet your husband? I'm intrigued.
He was my teacher at drama school.
Was he?
Nothing happened while we were in school because
Yeah.
he had a rule of he would never date a student.
How old is he?
He's 60. No, imagine. He's only 5 years older than me.
I was going to say, yeah.
He had been a student at the drama school, and then he came
Right.
back to teach like a weekend course.
Right.
And so I met him on this. He was like the hot young sometimes teacher. He
Right.
kind of hung around and did like video promo for the school and stuff like that.
And was it an instant attraction?
It was a very weird thing. It wasn't romantic, but the minute I saw him, I just went, "Oh, that's my husband."
Right.
Completely void of this feeling of like, I'm gonna marry that guy. It was
Yeah.
like meeting the chef at a restaurant or the pilot when you get off the plane. It was just information. I just thought, that's him. That's my husband.
Yeah, that's so. And then, but what a bizarre
Yeah.
and cool.
And he came in to teach us about continuity. So he was editing together scenes that we did, and in a funny way, where he was showing that if you don't drink your drink on the same line in every take from every angle, it will just look like you're nonstop drinking wine, you know?
Yeah.
And
What
so,
an unbelievably specific course.
but it's
I know, I
been
get it.
so valuable
Yeah,
for
yeah.
any sort of acting stuff that
Yeah.
I've done. It really sticks in.
It's amazing when you see so. It's still one of the things you watch The Sopranos. Sopranos is excellent, but his eating. But he's constantly kind of poking with the thing and never eats, and you're like, come on, man.
Well, because they were filming that for about
of course
all day.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
But it's funny when you see putting the salt on.
I'm
or
doing
anything.
something now where I'm smoking, and I am just doing it. And I don't smoke. So I'm smoking so much to the point where the producer came over and was like, you actually can't smoke this much. But, you know, I don't know. I want it to look real. And also I want it to look like I know how to smoke a cigarette. And the only time I'm ever doing it is on camera. So I'm like, if I just get as much practice in as I possibly can. But I'm shaving days off my life for sure.
What are you doing? Are you allowed to speak about it?
I'm filming. Frankie Boyle wrote a novel called Meantime.
Yes,
And
with
they were
James McAvoy.
That's right. Yeah. So I play like his best friend / murdered friend.
Excellent.
I genuinely think I only got the part because the audition came in and I was like, oh, this is play a murdered girl. Okay, it's probably just one scene. And then I just did it without caring. And then my agent was like, you got the part. And you're in every single episode. You're like the main character. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. For the first 2 weeks, I was like, I'm going to get fired. They're going to realize I'm a comedian and I'm not an actor. But yeah, no, it's cool. It's been really cool.
Wow, what a cool. So you've got an arena tour, and
Well, it's not my tour.
no, but you're touring with your hero,
Yeah.
and you're getting to travel around your country doing gigs.
Look,
that you
she might drop me and I might get cut out of this thing. So we
True,
don't
true,
know.
okay,
We
yeah,
don't know.
That's the attitude. Okay, well, either way, it sounds cool.
Can I ask a question about nerds?
Of course you
Oh,
can.
yeah.
How did nerds end up winning?
You know what it is? Computers took over and nerds know how to illegally download you whatever you want. And hot girls don't know how to do anything. So we've just paired up with these nerds for survival of our entertainment needs.
Yes.
And I think that's what it is.
And nobody filmed Happy Days 20 years later when the Fonz was still hanging around with the kids.
Yeah.
I will
Because the
say-
Fonz never moved on. You know.
Oh, exactly. Those guys who peak in high school, they suck, right?
Yeah, and Fonz, to
Yeah.
my knowledge, wasn't even at high school. He was just this, a bit like Matthew McConaughey's character in Dazed and
Dazed and
Confused.
Confused.
He's just a couple of years older than them, and he's cool, but only because he's not hanging out with adults. He's
I
still
think he
hanging out with
was
kids.
I think he was in the high school
Was
in
he?
Happy Days, but he was just 38 years old. It was a
Yeah.
little bit
But
like
so
Grease.
obviously 38 years
Oh
old.
yeah, no,
that-
for sure.
Yeah.
They were. You could see the makeup people coming in and like dyeing his grays away as he was talking.
So the nerds inherit the world, and the jocks end up developing enough fragility to comment on female
Yeah,
stand-ups.
true, exactly.
Oh, the
later in
jocks are
life.
still. I'm sure they're still nailing it. Yeah, but yeah.
The jocks, I don't know.
What do they do? What do they go into? Well, the nerds make the money, don't they?
Yeah, but I guess like
Go to Loughborough.
I guess the jock would be the manosphere. I guess that's where they kind of end up. But then you still have to have a degree of sort of tech knowledge to do that. Even.
Did you watch the documentary?
Yeah.
What did you think?
Um.
I'm on their side. No,
It was kind of, but it was kind of. I didn't think there was anything. There wasn't anything that you didn't kind of know about.
I
Like,
didn't
for
realize
me,
how young the guys who liked them would be.
Oh,
I didn't
really?
realize it was going to be like 16-year-old boys.
Yeah, that was. I think if you're a bloke, you kind of know. I've been around enough football changing rooms to know who the influenced kids
Oh,
are.
I
And it's going to be
see.
those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a grown man would go, he's a fucking dick.
Yeah.
But if you're 14, you're like, yeah, look, he's telling the girls what's what,
That's so interesting to me because surely you'd just figure out that if you treat a woman well, that's the key to landing a chick. Do you know what I mean? Landing a chick? It sounds like I'm glad I'm out of the dating pool.
Yeah.
Send those dick pics. But you know what I mean?
Imagine
It
having
just
to date again. Can you imagine that?
no.
terrifying.
And also I couldn't be in my 20s again when I was dating. Like you
Yeah.
couldn't pay me to go back to that insecure,
Yeah.
sad person. No.
When did you start doing stand-up?
30.
Did you?
Yeah, I started late, and maybe that's part of the reason why I maybe look a bit more composed when I'm
What were
nervous.
your 20s like?
I didn't really know who I was. I'd been in a really bad car accident when I was 21, about a month after I turned 21, and it paralyzed my leg. So I spent 3 years in my early 20s in my parents' basement, learning how to walk again and, shitting in a commode at the side of the bed. And then when I could get out, I had lived a very sheltered religious life. My parents were very Catholic, very conservative. I just kind of lied to my parents, and then I just went backpacking for a year. And I traveled all around. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then auditioned for drama school, moved to London, met my husband, and then thought, okay, I want to be a performer of some sort. I did a couple plays. I did a play on the West End. It was very serious drama. I did it for almost 300 performances and thought, I hate this. I hate being serious all the time because so many stupid things were happening in the play. And I just kept laughing. And it was an adaptation of 1984. So it was supposed to be super serious. And me and the guy who played Winston, there was one scene where we had to have our backs to the audience. We're sitting in these two chairs. It's a very serious scene where a creepy man is pouring us wine, and bless him, this guy Andre he didn't want to break eye contact, and he could not get the wine into the cup, so it was just spilling everywhere, and you just see our shoulders like hysterically laughing to the point where audience members would meet us outside of stage door and be like, were you guys laughing during that scene? It was really bad. And I thought, I think I just want to be a comedian. I just like laughing. I like making people laugh.
Yeah.
So I signed up for a stand-up course when I was 29. And then at the
In
end
the
of that
UK?
course, And then at the end of the course, I had about a 5-minute set that I felt comfortable enough that I could take.
And
to
who were
open
your
mics.
kind of like classmates, as it were? Either at that course, or who do you feel like you
No,
kind
no
of
one on
came
the
up with?
course.
Okay.
They were all just kind of doing a fun thing.
Yeah.
But like my year would have been like Huge Davies and maybe Sophie Duker and Ross Smith. I'm trying to think who else was like, I guess Catherine Bohart, Sarah Keyworth.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of a generation.
Yeah,
The
cool.
people who debuted around 2018, 19 at the Fringe.
Next brilliant thing.
Pixar. I love Pixar.
Okay.
Yeah.
What specifically? Favourite?
I love comedy with heart. That's my favorite thing. That's the
Yes.
kind of shows that I try and make, and Pixar just nails that. I remember once talking to Phil Wang, and he doesn't like Pixar, and I said, "How come you don't like it?" And he went, "We get it. Life is beautiful and also hard." Okay, and that is basically what every Pixar movie is. But I just
Again,
need that reminder.
But it's kind of that funny thing, isn't it? Of it's like there was this spate where people were going, "Oh, is it a dead dad show?" You're like, his dad died.
I know. I think that all the
Come
time,
on,
Russell.
man.
I know.
You know, but it's the frustrating cynicism behind like, oh yeah, fucking. You go, come on.
I don't like when people try and make a dead dad show out of like, and then I broke my toe. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
okay, but if
Yeah.
something huge happened in your life that is
Yeah.
on your mind, of course you're going to talk about it on stage. And if you're like me, your way of dealing with it is to make jokes about it so that you have power over it in some form. But I love that about Pixar, and I love that Pixar explores things like dead parents and stuff like that because kids do experience that, and it's good to have something that's geared towards them that explains those feelings so they don't feel so lost in it.
Yeah,
Like, have you seen Onward, the Pixar film?
I haven't. No.
It's beautiful. It's about and it's so funny and fun, but it's about a father who passed away before his second son was born.
Yeah.
And they cast this spell when they grow up as teenagers because they're wizards, and they bring like half of their dad back or whatever.
right.
Anyway, yeah, but it's a
Yeah.
beautiful film.
Yeah. I'm absolutely here for stuff like that. I love, and anything as well that kind of that can genuinely put magic into like because they really can like the relationship we have with our childhood films. It's supersonic.
Are you a Toy Story? Do you watch Toy Story in your
it's
house?
great. They're great.
So good.
Secret Life of Pets. You seen that?
No, I haven't, but my
You've never
husband loves
seen
it.
that?
Yeah.
It's an unbelievable film. It's
Yeah.
so the craft work that goes into that, the jokes, the visual jokes. It's beautiful. It's absolutely incredible. And then it's got a nice little, there is a nice little story behind it of like, friendship but what's wrong with that?
What about, have you seen Soul?
No.
Oh, you have to watch it.
What happens in Soul?
It's about it's not for children. I watched it with my nieces and they were like, "What is this?" It's about a guy who wanted to be a jazz musician his whole life, and when he finally gets his chance, he's suddenly dies, and then he has to come back to life and like play this gig or whatever. And it's basically about the meaning of life isn't your career. The meaning of life is just to experience life. Why is that for children? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pixar is not for kids. It is for millennials with big feelings who are in therapy. I truly believe that.
Yeah.
And kids watch it because it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
So they rewrote the game like that. Before that, Disney films were like, here's your princess film. Adults, you have to just endure this.
Yeah.
And now you get the same thing with like Mario films where they're just gunk and
Yeah, that's the frustrating thing.
But
But clearly, like the Minecraft, the movie, and all this, that there is a frustrating move towards getting their money back.
Yeah.
Getting money back on the investment.
But Pixar, they made these films that were just for people at a point that was accessible for kids, and that the screenwriting, the storytelling
It's for the
was
adults.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
So the number of hits. So here's Toy Story, Bugs Life, Toy Story 2, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, Cars, Ratatouille, WALL-E. They're their first films. There's no dud films.
No.
They just didn't make a misstep. It's incredible.
Yeah.
No one else has done that.
I think a lot of that is to do with Pete Docter. I think he's a genius. His everything he ever touches is amazing, and he's so wonderful to listen to on podcasts because he's just like a really humble guy who
Who is Pete Docter?
I don't know if he like runs Pixar now, but he started as one of the animators there, I
Yeah.
think, and then became a director and a writer,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure he's like very high up now. But he co-wrote and directed Soul.
And am I going crazy?
And
or
Toy Story.
Pixar has got something to do with Apple in some form. I think.
Yes. Yes, because it's Steve Jobs started it, right?
Yeah, and so I wonder if it came from that. I think a lot of Steve Jobs' thing.
Steve Jobs got fired from Apple, I think, then started Pixar, maybe I'm wrong,
It's
and then
something.
sold it back to Apple,
Pixar
right?
starts off as an advertising company in the 80s, and they
Yeah.
do adverts for like Listerine and stuff.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs buys that and calls it Pixar,
Yeah.
and then they get turned into the filmmaking.
But
outfit.
the point I was going to make, that what he did early on with Apple was his big idea was to put A's with A's. So clearly they did that with Pixar. They were like, right, let's get everybody who's obsessed with stories for children and put them all in a room, and something magical will happen. So there you go. Interesting. So maybe that's why maybe all the people that worked there at the top had this kind of vision of like, no, our film should have this, and this.
Yeah, well, and also it's just really deeply personal storytelling. So like Pete Docter wrote Soul after I think he made Up, and it was a huge success, and he thought, okay, I've done everything, and I feel so empty. Why is that? Why is the thing that I've been working for 30, 40 years not fulfilling me? And then he wrote Soul about that feeling.
Yeah.
You know, that weird feeling that a lot of Olympians get when they win gold, and then they just feel awful, and they don't know what to do with themselves because they have no more purpose, because they've done the thing now and there's nothing left.
Yeah, it fascinates me that it's that thing of what do you do if you've scored the winner in the World Cup final? Like because we all think, our best days are ahead of us, but what if you've had it?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
And also you can do it and it just gives you no fulfillment, actually, because it's the pursuit of it that gives you purpose. It's not the achievement of it.
What's your final brilliant thing?
Oh, this is good. Brick. Have you heard of Brick?
Yes.
I use this all the time. So it's a social media blocker that's like a physical thing. Do you use it?
My wife uses it and
encourages you to use it, or no?
yeah, but she loves it. And it's changed. But I love the idea. So you've got like a 15-minute window. Is that it? Where you can just go on certain things.
I think you can set it to all different stuff. You can set it as a timer. Basically, what it is that once you click it on, you can't access whatever you allocate. So you can't. For me, I can't access Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Not that I would ever go on Facebook, or TikTok. And it blocks it from your phone. And the only way to unblock it is you have to have the physical thing in your hand and tap your phone on it. So like for me, I bricked my phone today when I was getting ready to come here. And then I left my house and forgot to unbrick my phone. And I was halfway up the street and I thought I could turn back and unbrick my phone so I could check my Instagram. And then I realized what a little addict I was, because I actually thought, I'll just be late so that I can have access to my Instagram.
Yeah.
It really makes you sit and think, is this weird compulsive addiction that I have worth being late for work? I don't know.
Yeah,
it helps me go to sleep at night, because if I have my phone unbricked, I will just scroll for hours and suddenly I think I'm checking Instagram for 15 minutes and it'll be 2 a.m.
And does that make you hyper aware of screens as regards your kid?
I think we're bad parents. My son will be like, I'm going to go outside and play. And I'm like, you'll sit and you'll watch TV. Because I'm like, I need to wash the dishes. I need to make dinner. I need to whatever it is around the house. I think a lot of this screen stuff is...
Surely just say, from what we've heard, just go listen to your dad.
I think...
Just like throw
But
something
he's
at
watching
your house.
TV. He loves movies. He's a big movie nerd.
Oh,
He loves cartoons. And me and my husband grew up watching tons of TV. I wouldn't let my son have a social media account until he's, 16 or something.
Yeah.
But I think if you're watching good TV, it's just kind of teaching your kids storytelling. Like, we won't put on junk like Coco Melon or any of that stuff, which is just
it's such a
mesmeric.
Yeah, correct.
The ones where they're using like computer animation and the colors are super vibrant and every 2 seconds the image is changing. If I put something like that, would be Coco Melon. If I put that on, my son wouldn't be able to look at me if I called his name.
Yeah.
He's just glued to the TV. So yeah, I think screens are fine. It depends on what it is that you're watching. But with something like Instagram, I think I'm seeing too many hot women, too many successful people, too many happy people. And I know that it's a lie. I saw, those tube things where people write out, like an inspirational quote on the little whiteboard on the tube.
Yes.
I saw one that said, "Don't compare your behind the scenes footage to someone else's highlights reel." And I think
Yes.
that's exactly what social media is.
Yeah.
You are looking at everyone's highlights reel, knowing your behind the scenes footage, and it just messes with your head.
Yes. Yeah. I think as well, particularly from a kind of a stand-up point of view, that you inevitably find yourself comparing yourself to other people, and it's like you say, it's the best shots of the gig. It's the kind of, you know, standing ovation at the end. It's the kind of cool photo of the backstage. It's never the comic racked with nerves having a shit
Yeah,
before
or-
they go on. But you know.
Or if you're not realizing the photo is cropped and it looks like it's completely sold out, but they haven't sold anything in the balcony. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I also think as a comic, too much social media robs you of your ability to formulate your own opinion on things because everybody's got a take on social media.
Yes.
And so you're listening to, it's so easy to then not allow yourself to have an original thought on something. And
Yes.
that is something I've really noticed, that whatever that part of your brain is in me has definitely shrunk from being on social media too much.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, there's a really great quote, isn't it? It's originality is the art of concealing your sources. And the
Right.
problem is, but everyone would go, well,
That's a meme.
she follows her, him, and that's
Yeah.
where, you know, but we're all.
Well, I've had it where, you know, I don't know if you ever find this, but sometimes a joke comes to you and you're like, where did this come from? You know, it's just like a perfectly formed thing. And you think
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
where has this been like a download from the universe? And I'm paranoid that I've seen it on social media.
Mm.
And because it's not YouTube where you can just look up the bit and see if it pops up, I don't know how to search for stuff on clips, like on reels, you know, or a meme that I might have seen. And I'm terrified that it's memifying my stand-up. So I'm trying to really limit the amount of social media stuff that I'm looking at.
Yeah. And when does the to finish it all up? When does the Meantime come out, and when is the arena tour, and when is your UK tour?
The touring with Leanne Morgan would be in the winter.
Great.
And I'm knocking on every piece of wood
Fine.
because
Yeah, absolutely.
Lord.
No, I hear you that.
Meantime, I don't know when it comes out. We're filming it from now till the summer. And my tour finishes in May. When is this coming out? I think my tour finishes the day before this comes out, I'd say.
Okay, well that's not ideal. And are you plans to kind of go again, or
I'm gonna tour again in America, I think, off
Great.
the heels of the arena
Yeah.
tour.
with the version of this of the show you're
I think
doing
with
now?
the show, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That was great.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
This was so nice. It was so nice. I feel like we've never actually. I feel like I did your show, and maybe we said hi and bye, but I didn't get to
Probably,
actually
yeah.
talk to you. Yeah.
And then I kind of, because I follow you on social media, so I've seen all those clips go mad.
Right,
And it's
right,
really
yeah.
cool. I really
I
like
shouldn't have written all those comments.
but I really
Very
like it.
good.
It's very nice watching that happen where you go, oh bloody hell, that's from our little show.
I
And
mean,
it's kind of nuts.
It was unreal. It was the only bit of like well-filmed stand-up I had.
Mm.
So years after it came out, maybe a year after, I was going on my honeymoon and I clipped up a bit and I put it on my social media and then got on a flight to Thailand. And when I landed, I was like, Andrew, I'm not kidding, 100,000 new followers.
Yeah.
It was, and that's never happened to
Yeah.
me since.
What do you think that was? Is it that... Go on, you answer the question.
Well, this was a really weird one. It was a joke where I say that can I say cunt?
Yeah.
I mean, I just said it, but I say that I've given the punchline away. You got to fix
Go
this.
again.
You got to
Go-
fix this
yeah,
in the
yeah.
edit. It was a joke where I said that my mom doesn't call a vagina. She calls it a Lulu, which was very confusing for me growing up because I have a cousin named Lulu who coincidentally is a cunt. And I put that online thinking like this won't, who knows? I think I had 15 followers. And for some reason in India, it just blew up like crazy. And loads of people were commenting like, we have a mall in India called Lulu. Like, it would completely unrelated to why you would think that it would
so
go.
funny.
I think it got taken down eventually because I cursed on it and didn't bleep it out. I think it got like 50 million views. Wow. Yeah, it was so crazy. And then obviously because of that, you have a basis of a following.
Yeah.
And then I started posting other clips from your show, and people were were watching it, engaging with it.
I love that.
And then
See,
I did a sold-out tour in India. It doesn't make any sense.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Based on that one joke.
Well,
That would've-
I had
no,
been,
but that
I had
would've
been
been the be-
posting stuff, but it was the
But that would've
beginnings
been
of
the
it.
beginning
Yeah,
of
for
it.
sure. Yeah,
Isn't
yeah.
that wild?
Yeah.
And now you've got loads of cricket material.
I know. I'm gonna have to start doing that.
But I
Yeah.
love the fact. So in one flight, you gained 100,000 followers and lost one family member. That Lulu was
but she was
gone
a cunt
for
anyway,
yeah,
come on.
exactly. Right. That was fantastic. Thanks
Thank
so much
you
for coming on the show.
This was lovely. Yeah.